playoffs last night. They've got a lengthy list of players who are going to become free agents this offseason. So many question marks. Those free agents include Tony Pollard, Dalton Schultz, Donovan Wilson, and Leighton Vander Esch. Shannon, does this mean the Cowboys Super Bowl window has closed?
When will it open? To call somebody to have a Super Bowl window, Skip, don't you have to get there? I mean, we got to drop that NFC East and just put NFC. I mean, let's ask Cincinnati and let's ask Kansas City in 3 to 4 years, has their window closed? We can't ask a team that has not been to an NFC title game in 27, now 28 years, is your window closed? Mm-hmm. Hell, when was it open?
Yeah.
We've got to stop this notion because, the Cowboys, every year, Pro Football Focus and all these grading sites, Cowboys have a top 5 offense, Cowboys have a top 5 defense, yada, yada, yada. And every year, Jerry Jones is tired, and he's sick, and he's disappointed.
Yep.
So I'm just skipped. This is 12 straight appearances, 12 playoff appearances without a trip to the conference championship game. Nobody, no other team has that many trips without at least reaching the NFC or AFC title game. The Cowboys are the most valuable team in sports, worth $8 billion. They've been the most valuable franchise for 14 straight seasons. They say money can't buy you happiness, and it damn sure can't buy you a championship. Jerry Jones is finding that out the hard way.
Yeah, so he says he would. You can't imagine the size of the check he would write. Well, there's a salary cap, Jerry.
Yeah,
go ahead.
You can't write. So this notion, Skip, I'm just trying to. The window, is it closed? Was it open? No, you opened it.
I did.
And then guess what? You didn't put that forward. You see, I don't know, you ain't from the hood, Skip, but we got things with the window come down on your hand, so we got to have a prop up in there, little one of those wooden spoons to hold it open.
I know that.
That wouldn't have been closed on you in '95. Once they got rid of Jimmy, y'all had one more opportunity. Now that window is officially shut.
Last night I had both my hands on the windowsill, and it slammed right on both of them, and it broke everything in both hands. Broke my soul. Shannon Sharp. I disqualify myself talking about my Cowboys today because I am devastated because that game meant more to me than any game in my Cowboy-loving life.
Right.
I just thought this was it. This is our time. This team had flashed Super Bowl potential game after game through the year and then flashed disaster potential at Washington to end the year, and I should have listened to you. I should have listened to everybody. I should have listened to that little voice in the back of my head saying, no, be careful. I used to tell you that my glass was half full. Now it's not half full, it's broken. And I cut myself on the broken glass last night because I cut my Cowboy heart, and I'm bleeding metallic blue all over this table here today.
But that's what you always told me. You told me, my glass is half. I said, well, Skip, what's in the glass?
Yeah.
Because even if it's being half full, if it's arsenic or strychnine, it will kill you.
Yeah, it did. I took a big old drink of it last night. So I look at all these free agents, and my hopes are shattered because we're going to lose a bunch of these guys. You always do, because they're going to get paid.
Yeah.
And we can't pay them because we're strapped by Dak.
Because here's the thing, Skip. You probably remember Tampa? Tampa won the Super Bowl and brought everybody back because they said, you know what? We got a chance to repeat. We can do it. Okay, tell me the city, why you want to come back to Dallas and do what? If somebody's going to give you more money to go elsewhere, it's not like you say, you know what? We're coming back to protect the Super Bowl that we won.
Let's run it back. Run back what?
What?
Yeah. Okay. Run back a win over a fading Tampa team. Been terrible all year. Okay. Dak's security blanket is Dalton Schultz. Well, he's pretty good, and he'll probably get some money to go elsewhere.
Oh, you're going to franchise him? You can only franchise one. You franchise him or Pollard.
Oh, no. Now, Pollard's got a broken leg. God bless him. And that will make it an X factor through the offseason.
Right.
Can he bounce completely back? Because he has extraordinary takeoff speed.
Right.
Donovan Wilson has been just a banger in the secondary.
He's been really good.
And will he be
That costly penalty yesterday hurt you.
It was terrible because he tackled him.
He did.
Tackled
him. But he's looking at, and Mike McCarthy looking around like, what happened?
And the irony was, as he was tackling, we actually got to the kid and sacked him.
Yeah.
So I don't think there would have been any completion, even if he'd let Kittle run free in the end zone.
Right.
So it was one of those poorly timed tackling penalties.
Right.
Leighton Vander Esch has been, in fact, they said on the broadcast yesterday, Fox, that the coaches believe he's the most improved player on the team. Well, I think he got past his neck injury,
Right.
so could he get paid?
He's definitely your best run defender.
Okay, well,
there's no question about that.
Okay, he's going to get some hits on the open market. Is Cooper Rush gone? Probably he's just gone because Romo predicted on CBS that he will get a contract to be a starting quarterback. So. Okay, well, we'll see about that. And then Anthony Barr was pretty good, and Dante Fowler was pretty good. And T.Y. Hilton had his moments here and there, and Hankins was good yesterday. Right. He was really good yesterday. All these guys are free, and they're all going to get some money to go elsewhere.
I mean, you probably can bring T.Y. You probably can bring T.Y.
Maybe. He might be one that you could get back. Now, for the bigger picture, Dan Quinn's going to get a head coaching job.
Yeah.
He was my reason for being this year because it was his imprint on this defense. His personality fueled this defense. It was really it was DQ's defense, right?
Yeah.
Micah had a lot to do with it, but the whole drive of the defense emanated from the guy with his cap on backwards because he was much more of a leader and a motivator than my head coach was. So if you take him out of the equation, I don't know if you can dredge it back up.
Yeah, I definitely think you lose something.
Don't you just lose a little the aura of it?
Yeah, I think Dan Quinn's going to get a job. I would like to see D'Amico Ryan go home, go back to Houston.
All right, that's fine. I love
that.
After
the job that he did yesterday, Skip, now he's been outstanding all year. But after the job that he did yesterday,
the way he carries himself, he is impressive.
He has a lot of a DQ in him. The fire, the passion that he displays on the sideline. He's excited. He's chest bumping the guys when they come off the field.
All right. Will somebody hire Kellen Moore as a head coach? They might. They just might. So I could have double jeopardy because I kept telling you my two quote unquote head coaches are my two coordinators because they're the ones who actually motivate the whole team and drive the whole team and fuel it with their strategic brilliance.
Right.
Okay. So Mike McCarthy is not leaving. That's a done deal. He is back. Dak is not leaving. He is back.
That Tampa game bought him another year, Skip.
That is exactly right for both of them.
Yes.
Yeah.
That bought him another year. Skip, when you look at the top teams, the Patriots are the second most valuable, the Rams are third, Yankees, and the Giants. All these teams have had championship success in the last 15 years. You guys are heading towards 30 years before you had any championship success. So to ask, is the window closed? I was asking, well, who propped it open and when?
Okay, but remember, my first 34 years of fandom, the window was wide open every single year.
Because I think you made the playoffs like 20 straight years with Coach Landry.
23 straight years.
Yeah.
And then in my first 34 years of fandom, we played 49 playoff games. That was 18 more than any other team in the whole league.
Right.
And now, over the last 8 years, 20, and it's counting, ticking.
Right.
28 years, we're 5-12 in the postseason. Only 5-12, so that's only 17 games. And our winning percentage is the worst in the NFL.
Yeah, but Skip, normally when you made the playoffs, you guys went to the Super Bowl. I mean, you lost to the Colts, you lost twice to the Steelers. Yep. So normally when you got to the playoffs, you guys were going to end up in the Super Bowl or at least the championship game.
8 times we did, and won 5 of them.
Yeah.
And by the way, the first 2 that we got to were, you can consider them NFC championship games, but we played in what was then called the NFL championship against Green Bay back-to-back to get to the Super Bowl.
Correct.
Because that's the way it fed, because there was no merger between the NFL and the AFL.
Right.
Okay, so I had nothing but glory years, and I got spoiled rotten. So when you ask me, is my Super Bowl window open? I'm thinking, it's the Dallas Cowboys. We're America's team. No, you're America's tease, right?
Yeah, you're winning.
You just keep teasing because you don't have Roger Staubach at quarterback. You don't have Troy Aikman at quarterback.
Skip, that's a question if you want to ask the Golden State Warriors. Because they were, that's a question that you ask them. You can't ask a team that hadn't been to the championship game in 27 years if your window's open.
Okay.
You in solitary. You ain't got no windows.
But there were times this year that you agreed with me. They look pretty good. They look like they could do some damage.
I say that after Tampa. Now, are you going to bottle what you did against Tampa? Are you going to bottle that up, ship it out to wherever you go? Because at the time with San Francisco, are you going to ship that to San Francisco? Because you guys look nothing like you. That offense looked nothing like against 49ers like you did against Tampa. No. Now, obviously, in your defense, at some point, Skip, your defense could have made a play. Now, they could have picked Brock Purdy off, just like the 49ers picked off Dak twice.
Okay. So remember, back-to-back years under Dan Quinn, we led the NFL in takeaways.
Yes.
That will get you places in the postseason, but you have to keep taking it away in the postseason, and we took it away 0 times yesterday on our defense. We had a special teams takeaway that gifted us should have given us 7 points.
Right.
But
Skip, at the end of the day, the way the league is set up now, you can't overcome bad quarterback play. Your quarterback, Skip, and especially when you played in $40 million, he's got to give you better than what Dak gave you yesterday. Those numbers won't get it done. A touchdown and 2 picks and horrible completion percentage, that won't get it done.
No. And how many missed throws did I show you to open this show?
Yes.
I showed you 5 missed throws, any one of which could have changed the game, and he didn't make a single one of them.
The biggest throw is Skip. You got to make that throw.
To Gallup.
You got to make it.
Yeah, because he's broken free, and he's caught no balls, so they were kind of ignoring him. Right. And all of a sudden, when you least expected it, he's free.
It seems like they ignored everybody except CD and Schultz. Yeah. I mean, that's what it looks like to me from the targets. Yeah. It was either CD, Schultz, or bust.
Okay. And remember, my man Zeke, I think he's going to be gone. I think it's the end of him because they kept feeding him the ball because you got to feed Zeke. And he's just like a fullback instead of a halfback.
Skip, I told you, we've never seen it. As long as you've been around the league, you've never seen that position drop off and be able to get it back. Nope. And now he's fell off like 3 years in a row. Yes. You don't bounce back. He's got so many miles on that. Zeke, because Skip, he carried the ball a lot. You don't lead the league in rushing, averaging the fewest amount of carries in the league. You got to get carries to go along with those yards. And he's a run-to-contact guy. Zeke is a collision back. Yep. He's not Barry Sanders. He's not elusive. He's not Emmett. You weren't getting no clean shot on Emmett.
Yep.
He's more like Adrian Peterson. He's more like Earl Campbell, run to contact.
I got it, but he ended up like the old Earl Campbell, right?
Once he got to New Orleans.
Okay.
Did he go to New Orleans?
Yeah, he did.
He went down with Coach Phillips.
With Bum, yeah. Okay, but the point was, Zeke got his money. He held out in Cabo, got his money, and came back and immediately began to decline, and has declined every year since.
Well, I mean, I don't want to say I don't think it was the money, Skip. I just think he had taken so many hits at that point in time.
Yep.
That they got to check the Carfax. They didn't check the Carfax on that car.
They didn't check it because you paid for what he was, not what he will be.
Because when you look, because he got the money, and then the next year he came back, he was all abbed up again.
He was.
But they didn't check the Carfax and see how many collisions he had already been in. So if you'd have checked the Carfax, you'd have known, man, he got 2,000 carries on this body already.
I'm not picking the Cowboys to do a thing next year.
Yeah, you can't help it. You will. Don't believe him, America. No. He will be right back in it. Those are his Cowboys. They've been his Cowboys since 1960 what?
1.
Okay. So 1 year after they came into existence because they became a team in 1960.
You can just see what's about to happen. We will not be as good next year as we were this year.
But what difference does it make? You're going to end up with the same thing. You're not going to go anywhere. So what? You might make the playoffs because they take an extra team. You'll be a wild card. And guess what? They'll tease you. They'll have a good game. Dak will throw for 400 yards. The defense will play outstanding. And you say, we are back. Unjinxable, baby.
I thought we were this year.
Just 2 years in a row, you said it was unjinxable.
Teams retool in the offseason, guys. It's about to get fun as we watch all the offseason moves. All right. Before we do that,